Shit. And just my last one for you before I let you go. Since Boots is officially moving up to 154 pounds now, look at that whole landscape. Who do you think is like, I mean, I don't want to say Crawford. Crawford doesn't count, but I don't think he's coming back down. Virgil Ortiz is right.
Crawford probably not going to go from 68 to 54, so you can
Yeah,
count that out. I
yeah,
don't think he'll do that.
yeah. I'm not counting him. And I mean, Virgil Ortiz is like the obvious one. Like he seems like yeah, he's gonna be the guy that's gonna be the mega fight for Boots. Is there like somebody else where it's just like, yeah, Virgil is a given, but a guy like the winner of Tindu versus Fundora, Jermall Charlo when he comes back, Xander Zayas, do you see somebody else, Bakram, where you're just like, ooh, that's actually a really good fight. Telez, like,
I'm going to say this. Individually, I think Boots will be the favorite over everybody.
mm,
But if you fight elite fighters in a prime on a constant basis, you will have a slip up. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes the totality of the tough fights and totality of just a guy may having your number, if you're taking on enough good guys, you can have a slip up or two. It don't mean that you're not that guy, but that happens to mostly everybody in boxing if you line up elite guys in the prime. Here's what I mean by that. If you was to ask me who would I favor at 154 with Boots, I would say I would favor Boots over everybody. But if Boots fight Bakram, Fundora, Tim Zoo, Charles Conwell, um, Virgil Ortiz, Talese, and let's just say somebody else emerges out of nowhere. That's six fights with guys in their prime, in their 20s, or maybe early 30s or whatever. It's a possibility that you could have a bad night, or just a guy can have your number. But if you're asking me, I think that he's the top guy at 54. I think he's going to be fine with the weight. Obviously, he got to prove it. Um, his toughest fight, not counting the new guy emerging, um, I would say Virgil Ortiz or Fundora. Fundora, obviously, because it's hard to train for 6'6",
mm. Yeah.
southpaw. It's hard to train for that. And he is a gun. He is a good fighter. He got a lot of heart, throw a lot of punches. He could fight, and he got a lot of world class experience. I think Boots will win, but that's not going to be an easy fight. And the one fight Fundora lost, he was winning every round until Brian Mendoza caught him.
So am I
Oh, wait.
mhm,
Lubin be a good fight for him too, because Lubin got a high skill level.
yeah.
Lubin is a guy I kind of forget because he ain't been fighting that much, so you kind of forget about him. But he just won that fight against the kid from Detroit. So Lubin will be a good fight too. But I would favor Boots to beat everybody overall. But Fundora because of the style, and I would say Lubin and Ortiz because of the skill level will be his toughest fights.
Ironically enough, I did mention Lubin before. And I just want to know, am I tripping for thinking like a guy like Xander Zayas? Not saying he'll win or favor him, but I
Yes,
just
Boots.
give him, I think he'll give him a pretty good fight, Xander Zayas.
Um, he fades a lot late in fights, and he gets good matchmaking. He don't get a lot of knockouts with the kind of matchmaking that he gets. So I don't know. I gotta see more of him. He's a little bit young. I don't know if he's developed enough to give Boots a fight. He got some good talent. He's solid, but I noticed a lot of his fights after the fifth or sixth round, he kind of fades a little bit. Um, uh, I don't. I, I just don't know if he's developed enough to fight Boots. But action speaks louder than words, and I'm sure that Boots don't need too many tune-ups at 54. So we'll see if Top Rank is willing to make that fight. You could just action speaks louder than words. I think Bakram will be more of a tougher fight. Bakram is a man; he's not no kid, and that counter left hook that he throws is a real thing. That shot was a missile, and I think that could present some trouble to Boots, simply because Boots is so just like like he's such a killer. Like he bloodthirsty, opens up a little bit, and you got to be careful with bigger guys. Bachram was throwing a nasty left hook counter against Tim Zoo, and yeah, he could be a trouble. And I'm not saying Xander Zayas can't be a good fight for Boots, but I think the other guys are developed past uh, uh, Diaz from what I've seen of him in his recent fights. I think they're a little bit farther along in development. And I think he might be a little bit young and right for Boots right now. Boots is probably watching a great fighter in his prime. And like when you're dealing with a great fighter in his prime, you don't want to mess a younger kid that's still developing, still trying to get better, who haven't reached a peak yet. You don't want to mess with them. You know what I'm saying? He could ruin him. It's kind of like it's a possibility that he could have ruined Brian Norman, and Brian Norman to me is developed further, much further past Xander Zayas. So I don't know if that would be a good fight as you think it is. Boots is super athletic, and he got a good jab. So guys that are athletic, Xander Zayas seems like he got some athleticism, but guys that's athletic, when you got a good jab to put on them, you could break their rhythm. And Boots got a monster jab from both sides. So I don't know. I think I'm more inclined to think that Virgil Ortiz, Fundora, and Lubin will be tougher fights. But we got to see. Who knows? Zayas, he could be improving. He could be getting better. I think he's still in his early 20s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So he probably, knowing Top Rank, they probably let him develop another year or two before you put him in with a guy like Boots. Because one thing I know about Top Rank is that they don't miss too much talent. So they know how good Boots is. So again, actions speak louder than words. They know what he is and what he's not. So I don't know if they would invest that kind of money in Xander Zayas to just throw him in there with Boots if he wins the title. But he's fighting a guy that beat Charles Conwell. That guy was pretty good. So
yeah.
we got to see if he can win the title first.
Yeah, no, I was just curious because everybody says Virgil Crawford's not coming back. Just like I just kind of wanted to throw something out
You
there.
know what's an interesting fight? Jermall Charlo. If he comes back to 54, but I don't know if he's going to come back. But that's an interesting fight because he's a
He,
big puncher and he carries his power late and he
but
got sneaky shots.
he keeps saying he's coming back to 54 though. So like,
Yeah. I mean,
you'll put him
I
over.
don't know where he's coming back, but that would be an interesting fight if he came back to 54. But we got to see because he went up to 68 and he haven't fought since. And he's about 34, 35. So,
Yeah,
making weight might not be easy for him. He seems like a fit guy, but that would be a big fight. That would be a good fight because
better
Boots
than
will have to be high.
better than Fundora, and I don't know about Virgil, but
I don't
better.
know about better, but you'll be on the edge of your seat because Charlo is a big sneaky puncher and he can clip you at any time in the fight. He carries his power late. So Boots will have to be careful just from that one aspect. I thought he was losing to Tony Harrison, but he don't get discouraged. He keep chucking them, and he finally caught Harrison. And he did it versus John Jackson when he won the title.
Yep, yeah,
So Charlo, he's the guy that if he's down on points, he'll still keep fighting. He'll still keep throwing big punches. He'll still keep trying to hit you with sneaky counters. And he got a lot of experience. That would be a interesting fight. But again, I don't know if he's going to be a 54 pounder because he went up to 68, like 30. I think he like 35, and then coming back down
he
to
just turned 35.
54.
Yeah,
It might. I don't know what he did to make 68. If he put on muscle, it might be hard. If he just didn't cut weight, then it might be a little easier. But I don't know. I don't know what he did to make 54, but we got to see. I don't, hard to tell.
got it. Look, I know you got to go. Appreciate you jumping on me, man. My guy. Hope you have a
Yeah.
good one, brother.
Yeah.